All right, I think it's running. So, all right. So welcome everybody. This is a wonderful opportunity at the Atlantia Kingdom Arts and Sciences Festival. So I am now looping. Okay, got to be careful about that. All right, so my friends, we are here at the Atlantia Kingdom Arts and Sciences Festival with a handful of Shakespeare geniuses that are going to share with us today some very fun speeches from our favorite bard, William Shakespeare himself. And I would like everybody to introduce themselves. I'm going to introduce myself really quickly and model. I am Sophia the Orange, and I love theater. I think theater is super fun and is my favorite hobby. And I love to do Shakespeare because it is so universally accepted and loved. And there's so many things that people all over the world love about Shakespeare. And it fits really, really well within the SCA scope. So we have a lot of fun sharing this piece of theater in the SCA, and it's really pretty easy to find people who are interested and want to play along. So that's why I love this stuff. And I'm going to pass the imaginary speaking stone over to Owen. Here you go, Owen. I want you to introduce yourself and tell us something about yourself and why you love Shakespeare.
Hi, I'm Owen DeWolf. My pronouns are he, they. I'm here because I really enjoy Shakespeare and theater in general, and anyone who's going to just give me a platform to go up and be a weirdo on camera, I'm going to take it. So thanks, Sophie. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Shameless plug. If you haven't watched my Antigone that premiered today yet, please go watch it. It's on YouTube. It's in all across the Facebooks. I'm not posting a link on this.
Okay, actually explain Antigone for a minute. It was another piece of the Kingdom Arts and Sciences Festival that you contributed. That's really special. Go ahead and tell everybody about it.
So as Sophie said, it was premiering as part of the Arts and Science Festival for Atlantia today. It premiered at 11 a.m. this morning, and it is a full-length production of the Greek tragedy Antigone, in which I attempted, as the executive producer and director, I attempted to blend this virtual theater that you're seeing around with film to make a pre-recorded, full-length, edited experience, is what I'll call it, of Antigone. It's fully faithful to the script, with just the staging and the kind of format in which it's presented being the anachronistic element. So if you get a chance, I really hope you get a chance to watch it. It really turned out fantastic. So thank you.
Super. And where can people find the link?
You can find the link on the event page for this event. That's probably the easiest. Otherwise,
and that is, by the way, kasf.atlantia.sca.org.
Yes.
kasf.atlantia.sca.org.
It's on YouTube, and if you just go to YouTube and type in, like in the search bar, Antigone Clark, as in my last name, because it's under the channel Clark Collaborations, it's the first result that shows up.
Super. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love it. All right. Yay, theater!
I'm going to pass the speaking stone to Celia, right?
Celia, yes.
Celia, yeah. Hello. I'm passing it to you because you're the right, and this is your frame for me. I don't know if it is for everyone
else. So you pick up the imaginary speaking stone, Celia.
Okay, I caught it. All right. Hi, I am Celia LaFleur. I am actually joining from Middle Kingdom, Barony of the Flaming Griffin. And I like theater and mostly do commedia. Shakespeare is cool because it's the rare instance where I actually am doing something serious. Where my whole purpose in life is to make people laugh. I like Shakespeare because, in spite of the fact that there's a lot of stuff that is considered outdated today, there is a lot of it that just speaks to the part of us, the human part of us, our regular everyday emotions, our ambitions, our hopes, our dreams, just regular humanity out there on full display. And so that's me.
Awesome. Thanks, Celia. So pass the imaginary speaking stone to
Well,
somebody.
let's see if Manus is right below me. So I'm passing it to him. All right.
All right. Okay. Greetings. I am Manus, and I am married to the fair Sophia the Orange. Shakespeare is, I've known about Shakespeare a long time, but it wasn't until I got to know Sophie and folk that I really started getting into some of the Shakespeare. And so I have dived in, and here I am. And so I will do a couple of pieces. And so I am now going to pass this speaking stone to Evelina.
I love it.
Thank you for the speaking stone. I'm Evelina Del Dolce. I'm in the kingdom of Ethelmark. I'm by Lake Erie. I mean, I love Shakespeare. I think my most fond Shakespeare memory was one of my best friends got me one of those like beautiful, like leather bound Shakespeare books. And we went to a library readathon. So all I did the whole weekend was read Shakespeare. I mean, it was a long time ago, but I remember it fondly. It was really fun. But I've been in theater pretty much my whole life since high school, and I've done some Shakespeare plays. I love them a little out of practice, but getting back into it today. There's a really fun like short play I read recently called Shakespeare's Ladies, where all the ladies come together and give I think Juliet advice, or one of the Shakespeare ladies. So I like it when people take Shakespeare and they kind of take the characters, which are so timeless, and do these other little fun projects with them. I also do like a lot of comedia too. And one of the projects we worked on, unfortunately didn't get to perform, was we were looking at all the Shakespeare plays and trying to find one to perform when they had Shakespeare's books on display for the Folgers. We never got to do that because of a couple things, but it was a fun project because there are a lot of parallels between Shakespearean theater and comedia. So I'm happy to be here today. I'm like a superwoman, so I work 2 jobs and I'm at my second job, but they love it when I do weird stuff in public. So here I am. So I'm masked and ready to be crazy. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks for having me today.
She's gonna be eyebrow.
Evelina. You see, this is the beauty of Zoom. You can kind of pull people together from anywhere, doing anything.
Yeah. No, I was hoping like I didn't, it wasn't, out of sorts, but I like doing crazy things in public, and I like doing a bunch of different things. So I make it work, and this YMCA, they're used to me being weird. So
Hey, that's awesome. Brilliant.
Thanks for having me today.
This is awesome. I love you guys. This is such a good time. This is super fun for me. So I tell you what, I am actually going to invite my beloved husband to kick us off. Yes, honey. And by the way, I want to say just a big old congratulations to my honey and tell everybody he has been a Laurel for a whole week now. He was just elevated last week, exactly a week ago, and it was a really beautiful milestone to celebrate in his life. So yay, Manus, Master Manus.
Thank you.
So happy.
So
I would like to ask if everybody could turn off their videos when somebody else is performing. Turn off your video and mute your mic. And honey, take it away.
greetings. So I was raised at Laurel last week, and in particular, my specialty and the thing that interests me is roses, and you can see them in the background. The background is actually a picture of the cloister at Hildesheim Cathedral in Hildesheim, Germany, where there is a rose bush that has been growing there for 1,000 years, or so they say, but a long time. And so in honor of the roses, I'm going to do Shakespeare's 54th sonnet. And this is, and here I go. Oh, how much more beauty does beauteous seem by that sweet ornament which truth doth give. The rose looks fair, but fairer we it deem for that sweet odor which doth in it live. The canker blooms have full a deeper dye as the perfumed tincture of the roses, hang on such thorns and dances wantonly when summer's breath their masked buds discloses. But for their virtue only is their show, they live unwound and unrespected fade. Sweet roses do not so, of their sweet deaths are sweetest odors made. And so of you, lovely and beauteous youth, when that shall fade, my verse distills your truth. Thank you.
Beautifully done. Very pretty. I love that. So I wonder if you could keep it going. Would you be willing to continue with your excellent advice? Because last week you got a lot of advice.
I did get a lot of advice, but Shakespeare does have advice to give. And so in particular in Hamlet, Polonius gives a great amount of advice to Laertes. This is Act 1, Scene 3. His son Laertes is going off to France to be educated, and Laertes is catching up with him right as Polonius is catching up with him right as he is about to board the ship. And it goes, "Yet here, Laertes, aboard, for shame. The wind sits in the shoulder of your sail, and you are stayed for. There, my blessing with thee, and these few words in thy memory see thou character. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought his act. Be thou familiar, but by no means vulgar. The friends thou hast and their adoption tried, grapple them to thy soul with hoops of steel, but do not dull thy palm with entertainment of each new-hatched, unfledged comrade. Beware of entrance to a quarrel, but being in one, bear it that the opposed may beware of thee. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. Take each man's censure, but reserve thy judgment. Costly thy habits as thy purse can buy, but not expressed in fancy. Rich, not gaudy. For the apparel oft proclaims the man, and those in France of the best rank and station are a most select and generous chief in that. Neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and friend, and borrowing dulls the edge of husbandry. This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man. Farewell, my blessing season this in thee." Thank you.
Yay!
Yay.
Oh, that's beautiful. Very good advice that every Laurel should hear. To thine own self be true. That's just beautiful, honey. I love that. Excellent. Hey, so Avelina's here. What do you think, Avelina? You ready to do your piece? All right, super. So tell us a little bit about it, why you like it, and then dive right in when you're ready.
Great. Yes, I'm ready to do the Tempest here. I'm doing Act 3, Scene 3. Ariel talking to Alonso, Sebastian. So I don't know. when I was doing that Shakespeare study project that I mentioned a little earlier, we were really looking at the Tempest because of its, connections to Commedia dell'arte, and also I think the Tempest is just a really interesting play for me because you have it, you talk about Miranda and how she was on this island sheltered her whole life, and didn't really know much about the world, and I just think it's really interesting. And then then it's kind of like her world opens up. So I really like that kind of allegory. And so yeah, I just like the Tempest, and who could who could resist a really big storm, which is really awesome. So with that being said, I will get started here with the Tempest, Act 3, Scene 3, Ariel. You are three men of sin, whom destiny had hath to instrument this lower world, and what isn't, never suffice see, hath cause to belch up to you on this island, where men doth not inhabit. You monks men, being most unfit to live, I have made you mad, and even in such like valor men hang down and drown their proper selves. You fools, and my fellows, are ministers of fate. The elements, of whom your swords are tempered, may as well wound the loud winds with their bemocked at stabs, killing the still closed waters as diminish. One dow that's in my plume, my fellow ministers, are like the invulnerable. If you could hurt, your swords would now too massy for your strengths, and will now be uplifted. But remember, for that's my business to you, you three, from Milan did supplant good Prospero, exposed him into the sea with hast requited him and his innocent child, for which foul deed the powers delaying, not forgetting, have incensed the seas and shores, ye all the creatures, against your peace, thee of thy son Alonso, they have bereft and do pronounce by me, lingering petition worse than any death, can be at once step by step attend you in your ways, whose wraths to guard you from, which here in the most desolate isle else fails. Upon your heads there is nothing but heart, sorrow, and a clear life ensuing. Thank you.
Woo, beautiful.
Thanks.
I have not heard that one recently. That's gorgeous.
I love it. Like Ariel's really telling them, and I just love it. So I kind of feel that way lately. You gotta just stand up and give it to those people.
Speak truth to power.
Yep. Tell it like it is. And
Tell it like it is.
Ariel's good for that. So
she is.
Thanks.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Evelina. All right, so my friends, is there any one of you that wants to go next? You are more than welcome to. Otherwise, I'm going to pick a volunteer. Okay, Owen, go for it, Owen.
Hello. Okay. So I'm going to start with the Dagger Monologue from Macbeth. Who doesn't like a good monologue in which a man is deciding that he wants to go kill himself? People are going to start thinking I have a fixation on suicide. Also, content warning, suicide. Okay. Anyways. Is this a dagger, which I see before me? The handle towards my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this, which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still. And on thy blade in dungeon gouts to blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now over the one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murdered, alarumed by his sentinel, the wolf, who howls his watch thus with his stealthy pace. With Tarquin's ravaging strides towards his design moves like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate to my whereabouts, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. While I threat he lives, words to the deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell. My headset started falling off at the end of that.
That's beautiful. I mean, scary, but beautifully done. Beautifully
Thank
done.
you.
That's very serious, very serious. I wonder if you wouldn't mind keeping the serious tone. I promise we will lighten it up later. I promise. But let us keep the serious tone with Celia doing Lady Macbeth.
I, as I said before, I am Celia LaFleur. I am doing Act 1, Scene 5 of Macbeth. I like to refer to this as Lady Macbeth's power-up speech, where she finally decides to take matters into her own hands and help her husband along in getting the kingship that is rightfully his. So anyway, here it is. Act 1, Scene 5. The raven himself is horse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts. Unsex me here and fill me from crown to toe top full of the direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the axis and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my ill purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee over in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold! Hold. That's it.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's see. Gosh, I tell you, Lady Macbeth just constantly intrigues me because she's just such a both powerful and powerless character. She's a woman in a man's world, and yet she's one of the most powerful characters in that play.
I think that it's interesting that she actually decided to take the initiative where women don't normally take the initiative, and that's why I like it so much. Okay, yes, she's evil, like really, really evil, but sister doing it for herself, so it's rare, and I just found it found it interesting. So
I love it.
that's why I chose.
Thank you, darling. All right. I don't want to say that war is necessarily a mood lightener, but I would like to invite my honey, Manus. Could you please shift the energy just a little bit away from direct murder and over to one of my favorite war speeches of yours, that is the St. Crispin's Day speech.
St. Crispin's Day speech, yes. This is from Henry V, Act 4, Scene 3, as they're going into the Battle of Agincourt, and they're looking over the field at the French army, and some people are going, there are a lot of those guys over there, and there are not a whole lot of us. And so we have the King Henry, who says the following: "What's he that wishes so? My cousin, Westmoreland? No, my fair cousin. If we are marked to die, we are enough to do our country loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greater share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. By Jove, I am not covetous for gold, nor I care who doth feed upon my cost. It yearns me not if men my garments wear. Such outward things dwell not in my desires. But if it be a sin to covet honor, I am the most offending soul alive. No, faith, my cuz, wish not a man from England. God's peace I would not lose so great an honor as one man more, methinks, would share from me. For all the hope I have, no, not one man more. Rather, proclaim it, Westmoreland, through my host, that he which hath no stomach for this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put in his purse. We will not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home shall stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He shall then live this day and see old age. Will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow is St. Crispin's. And he will then strip his sleeves and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's Day. Old men forget, but yet all shall be forgot. But he'll remember with advantages what feat he did that day. And then shall our names, familiar in his mouth as household words, Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Warwick and Talbot, Salisbury and Gloucester, shall in their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispian shall now go by from this day till the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother, be he ne'er so vile. This day shall gentle his condition, and gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed that they were not here, and hold their manhood cheap, while any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispin's Day.
Yay!
Go kill, go kill. Beat up the French.
To fight with us. I love that speech so much. It is so inspiring.
It is inspiring. It is inspiring.
All right, so my friends, I'm going to do my piece, and I'm going to do the same play, Henry V, but going back in time a little bit. This is Act Act 3, Scene 1. This is Henry saying, speaking, preaching the once more unto the breach, dear friends. So imagine, if you will, the same play, where Manus was just portraying Henry V, good King Hal. He was at the brink of the Agincourt battle and inspiring his people to take on the French, who had outnumbered them by a gajillion to one. Now go back in time a little bit. He had to work to get there. And the speech I'm about to do, once more unto the breach, this is where Hal is doing his first battle at taking siege at the city of Helfleur. And this is his entree into France. And so he's got to get this right before he can even get to Agincourt. So this is King Hal saying what he needs to, for the first time, to prove himself as a leader, as a king, and as a war general. So he's got to get this right before he can even get to Agincourt. So here is Act 3, Scene 1, once more unto the breach. Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more, or close up the wall with our English dead. In peace, there nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the actions of a tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, and disguise fair nature with hard favored rage. Lend the eye a terrible aspect, then let pry through the portage of the head like a brass cannon. Now set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to its full height. On, you noblest English, whose blood was fat from fathers of war-proof. Fathers that, like so many Alexanders, have in these parts from morn till even fought, and sheathed their swords for lack of argument. Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that those whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. And you, good yeoman, whose limbs were made in England, show us the mettle of your pasture. Let us swear that you are worth your breeding, which I doubt not. For there is none of you so mean and base that hath not noble luster in your eyes. I see you stand like greyhounds upon the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirit, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George!
St. George!
Go, 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 go.
Harry! Go, go, go!
Oh my god.
That was awesome.
You can just kind of see him, as the men progress by him. Go, 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 go. Into the breach, go.
I love the energy.
Yeah.
I love that speech. It's so much fun.
It
It's
is.
so much fun. Once somebody told me that speech was overdone in the SCA.
I mean, probably, but no. Not if it's done well. That's the thing. Put the energy and the intention into it, and I don't care.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think
just-
it's overdone. I think we could use that speech every day.
Yeah, just go up there and scream.
I don't know. I think that Band of Brothers, We Are All Brothers is a little bit more appropriate for an everyday, because you
I
don't
could
always have
listen
a
to that
breach to
speech
go into.
every day.
Yeah.
But we can make a breach math.
Exactly. All right.
Put a hole in
All right,
that
you guys,
wall. Right.
I got one more to do that is very silly fun. And then Cody is gonna wrap us up with
Owen. No.
Owen. SC. I'm sorry, man. So hard.
You still get the energy. It's hard to...
All right. So I tell you what, I want you guys to stay here. Stay here. But all at once, I want you to scream, "You are an ass."
And do you want us
Okay.
to leave after that?
Just
like
you can leave if you
now.
want to. The thing is, I need the inspiration because I am playing Dogberry, who is a noble yet ridiculous creature, and he is in this moment being kind of an ass.
A noble yet
However-
ridiculous creature. That's how I want people to describe me.
However, Dogberry has this faith in himself that I love. And this is his speech from Much Ado About Nothing that I absolutely adore. So I give you permission to, yell and scream at me in the most passionate way, like defending yourself against the stupidity of the world. And your line is, "You are an ass." Okay, when you're ready.
So what? 3,
3,
2, 1. You
are
an ass.
Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down an ass! But masters, remember that I am an ass, though it be not written down. Yet forget not, I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as ever in Messina, and one that knows the law. Go to. And a rich fellow. Enough. Go to. And a fellow that has had losses. And one that has 2 gowns. And everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been written down an ass.
As pretty a piece of flesh. I loved that.
2 gowns, not 1, but 2.
2. I got 2 gowns. 2.
That's a lot for that time.
Yeah. Go to. All right, my
funny.
friends. Let us bring it back around to one of the most beautiful wrap-ups ever written. So this is going to be Owen doing the classic from our beloved Puck. And I think you all know what's coming, but for the people who aren't as geeky as we are, please do introduce the most beautiful ending of any play.
So I'm going to be doing Puck's monologue, in which he ends Midsummer's Night's Dream with. It is really the best ending to a show you could ask for. It's great. You'll see. You know what it is. So, if we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme no more yielding, but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend. If you pardon, we will mend. And as I am an honest buck, if we have unearned luck, Now, to scrape the serpent's tongue, we will make amends ere long, else the puck a liar call. So, good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.
Bravo, bravo.
Oh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful.
I mean, how else can you end anything? Just be like, I'm sorry if we offended you. Please clap for me. That's the
Sorry
motto.
if we offended, but please, applaud anyway.
If we offended you, it wasn't real.
All a dream, just a dream, just a dream. All right, my friends. I think we can end it there
I think so too.
because that is absolutely beautiful, and I feel very complete. And we do also have lots of more juicy fun with Kingdom Arts and Sciences Festival coming up in a little while. In about 15 minutes, Owen is going to lead aren't you leading the
Yes. I was like, what am I doing? Oh yeah.
You're leading the talk back session. Talk back is not like rude, like I'm talking back to you.
No,
it's a
standard
chat,
term.
right? Why don't you tell
Yeah.
people what it is?
It's like the cast talks back at the cast at the audience.
Breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So that's for Antigone and anybody else who wants to talk about performing arts and theater.
Yep. Yeah, it's a focus on performing arts in the time of COVID and how you create virtual performing arts.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. All right, my friends. So in about 15 minutes, go to the website, KASF at kasf.atlantia.sca.org to go get the links for everything. It's all right up there. And go join Owen for talking back in a very polite way. And and then there's court starts at 4. We have a ball where you can actually dance with people virtually. That starts at 8 o'clock. And there's music and camaraderie as well, even if you want to just sit in your chair. That's okay too. So thanks everybody so much for being part of the Atlantia Kingdom Arts and Sciences Festival. It's a great fun virtual way to be together. So thanks a million. And we're going to shut this down and call it a day with Shakespeare. Thank you. Bye.